I think the no recording sign is based for that. Cell phones. People are using cell phones here. You're showing your game on a cell phone. What's your name and what's your game?
My name is Kyle Nissen, and our game is called Disjoint.
And what's Disjoint about?
Disjoint is this like 2D puzzle game / 3D puzzle. Where basically you move shapes around, triangles mostly, and try to solve puzzles. And there's also a very heartwarming and touching story kind of woven throughout that as well.
It's a very like seafarers kind of sailorman story aesthetically from what I've seen.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it starts out with two travelers on a boat who happen to be pigs. And then their boat is shipwrecked, and they wash up on shore, and one of the pigs is found by an old hobo who ends up helping them out along their way to reunite the two of them.
And where did that kind of like sea inspiration come from? Did you guys all like grow up like childs of fishermen or like what?
No, we all grew up in like the most landlocked place ever in Calgary, so...
That's their motto, right? Like
yeah.
It's beautiful BC, and Calgary's is the most landlocked place on Earth.
Yeah. No, the story just kind of came out of something. We thought it would be a nice, interesting touch. I think we just thought it was a good kind of... I don't know, I'm trying to think of the word here, but... a good scenario and a good scene for the story to take place, and it worked well kind of with the aesthetic of the game and stuff and the art style that we have, so that's what caused it.
I find the whole like duality of the kind of very story-based thing and then having the puzzle levels very interesting. It's kind of very like familiar like Pyre, like kind of similar thing where there is like a story around the like core gameplay, and what part of that kind of came first?
Definitely the puzzle kind of gameplay came first, and we felt like we wanted a hook just to get people more engaged with the story and kind of anchor the reason why you're trying to solve the puzzles and stuff. So we decided to kind of interweave the story throughout the puzzle gameplay to kind of keep players going, and also attract a bit of a broader audience, because maybe some people aren't so hardcore to the puzzle side, but they really might enjoy the story, and it's got a nice little rhyming scheme the whole time, which is fun.
And also, I think like you guys are definitely targeting mobile platforms first, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like Android, iOS are our target platforms.
And that kind of, I think that also kind of fits, because like all the puzzles are, from what I've seen, somewhat turn-based, and the story is very much like a visual comic come to life kind of thing, where you're kind of taking it into your own pace.
Yeah.
Was that always kind of a goal of doing mobile platforms and having that kind of like stop and go?
Yeah, I think we felt that it really worked with the kind of game we're making, because you can grab a couple puzzles here or there. The game is divided up into fairly small bites and little story bites and stuff, so it worked really well on mobile. And I think that was the kind of game we wanted to make, was just like a more relaxed experience. Like there's no timer or anything. You kind of solve the puzzles at your own pace, and you can work your way through the story. Like we're trying to create a more mellow, kind of enjoyable experience for the player.
And what you mentioned that you did a lot of the work on this game on the side.
Yeah.
What's kind of like scheduling a side project with 3 people? I assume your team's 3, because that's who's here.
Yeah, there's 3 of us.
It seems like all Calgary indie developers are 3-people teams.
Yeah, it was, when we started, we were just like friends in university, and when we graduated, we were all just like, let's get together and make a game, like why not? And we all had different jobs, and actually throughout the process, one of us ended up moving to Vancouver, and so we've been like, and I took a job that I was traveling for 4 months, so I was totally away for a while, and we found ways to kind of work through those challenges, and it's been interesting trying to work as a team. Doing a project on the side like this, it's always tough to find that time when you have to, put food on the table, do your day job, and then you come home and maybe squeeze in an hour or 2 of like actual work on this. And I think that's why it took us so long to get the game out. It's been 3 years in development, but it's been an awesome journey. We've learned like so much along the way. We're super excited to get it out there.
What's the developer scene in Calgary like?
Calgary actually has like a pretty good little grassroots community of game devs. I mean, they've been really supportive for me, especially. I've been going to like all the meetups and stuff with them. as a developer, kind of trying to learn a lot of this stuff on my own, it can be pretty daunting. But when you get a chance to like, just hang out with other devs and talk to those guys and find out what works and what doesn't, it helps a lot. We've got a few pretty solid games coming out of Calgary these days, and I think it's just starting to grow, and I'm pretty excited to see what happens.
Is there any game developer showcase at the Stampede?
No, the Stampede's pretty heavy Western still, but we're trying to push it. We've gotten, I don't know if you're familiar with Beakerhead, but that's like a big Calgary-grown science, art, engineering festival that's been going on the last like 4 or 5 years. And the video games have been starting to show more prominently there. People have been demoing stuff or creating specific things just for that festival. So I think that's super cool. And I'm pretty excited just to see it grow even more.
So when I was asking about who to interview, because I often people are like, oh, who do you want to interview? And I'm like, I'll interview whoever wants to be interviewed. The other guy said he was a former Olympian. You should interview him. So yeah. What did you compete in?
Yeah, so in my past life I was a freestyle skier, so I did aerials. So I would go off a jump and do like 3 flips and a bunch of spins and try not to like break my neck. I actually was fortunate enough to compete in the Vancouver Olympic Games in 2010.
What was that like?
Oh, it was insane. It was so crazy. Like, I mean,
did you like compete and then just have the rest of the time off, or like?
Well, I did, but the problem was aerials was like midway through the second week, so we competed and then had like 3 days to kind of soak in the Olympics.
That sounds like the ideal way of doing it.
No, you want to compete early, because then you can like have your event done and just enjoy the games and not have to worry. Because when you're like before your event, you are 100% focused on your own event. You can barely even watch what else is going on. So, but I was super fortunate to be like an athlete and compete at a home Olympics. It was an amazing experience. It was really cool.
Were you just by yourself as a Canadian I'm assuming you're competing for Canada?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know.
Yeah, Calgary.
That might have been how you got here. You like came to the Olympics and then you're like, you know what, it's pretty cool.
I'll stick around, yeah. No, we had a team of like 7 athletes competing there from freestyling Canada, which was really cool.
How did you place, if you don't mind me asking?
I came 5th, actually, which sounds great, but it was actually a disappointment for me because I was ranked pretty high in the world the last few seasons, and I was actually ranked number 1 going into the finals, and I just had a tiny little bobble on my takeoff for my last jump.
And you're competing at that level, it's the smallest things that
it's like the sliver of error, like you just have like such a small margin of error, but...
Well, also I kind of knew you didn't get a medal, because your friend would have said he's an Olympic gold medalist or something, right?
Yeah, I'd probably carry that around with me everywhere if I had one, but either way, it was such a cool experience. It was so just like overwhelming. Vancouver was so awesome during the games. Like everyone got into it. Everyone was like so supportive and just having a good time. The little bit of time I did get to party, it was so much fun. I had a blast. So yeah, it was.
What was the best country to party with?
I'd have to say Canadians and Australians get along really well. The Russians are like maybe the worst country to party with because they are crazy, but fun. I don't know, like, especially, at least in my sport, like, everyone was super friendly. We had a blast. I got friends from all over the world still, and I love it.
So how much Olympic gear did you get? Like, do you have, like, boxes of Canada tracksuits?
Oh, yeah. When you show up at the Olympics, they literally give you, like, 2 duffel bags full of, like, clothing, because you have, like, a separate outfit for, like, opening ceremonies and closing ceremonies and everything. And then plus, like, your team gives you stuff. So I literally took count when I retired from skiing. I had 26 pairs of ski pants just in my closet. I was like, what am I going to do with all this?
That's like a way extreme scale of me working at a camping store.
Yeah.
And I look at my closet, I'm like, why did I buy a 1-person tent?
Yeah.
Like, what? Like, I'm never going to use this. Well, have you ever skied again?
Oh, yeah, I still ski for fun. I don't do aerials for fun. It's not really a sport you can just do casually, go off and do a couple flips.
Probably the higher you go in the air, the less casual you can be.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Well, thanks for being on the Question Bus.
Yeah, I'm happy to do it, man.
Is there anything else you want to plug?
Just Disjoint's coming out November 3rd, Android, iOS. Keep
Does
an
it
eye out
have
for it.
a Twitter account or anything?
Yeah, we're at Disjoint Game. If you check out disjointgame.com, that's our website. You can check all our social media there and stuff.
Oh, okay. You got Instagram?
Oh yeah, we got it.
Snapchat?
I don't think we're on Snap actually.
Oh, okay, not yet.
We're working on it.
You got to save something for the sequel.
Yeah, for sure.